Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another day of technology in our 30 days of technology. My name is Mike Freedman. I'm with a company called AI Technology and Design, and today we're going to talk about something that's really cool, really new, and I think a game changer when it comes to automation and making your home smarter. This is a product, when I first heard of it, when I first saw it, it absolutely blew me away, and I really feel it is one of the missing pieces of the puzzle to a do-it-yourself or professionally done smart home. Of course, I'm talking about a really cool ecosystem called Brilliant. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is what is Brilliant, because you may not yet have heard of this company. But before I do that, I want to tell you about automation as it traditionally stands. I'm not talking about using Alexa, Google, or Apple HomeKit to automate your house. I'm talking about traditional automation. So great companies like Savant, Crestron, and Control4 who are huge leaders in that space. And there's others like RTI who are also there doing a great job. So I don't want to miss anybody. Here's how these products work. The first thing you do is you put a processor in, and then you pick your interface. And that interface could be a touchpad, that could be a remote control, it could be an app. But the way we do it traditionally is we first figure out how we're going to control things, and then we figure out how we're going to talk to the things we're going to control. Brilliant is radically different. The interface is the automation. And yes, there's some software on the back end, but it's literally that easy. So instead of trying to configure a whole bunch of different things, you only have to configure one thing. And the best part is it replaces your existing light switches. So we'll dig into it a little bit more, but that in a nutshell is what Brilliant is. It's simply some really smart product that replaces your existing light switches, makes them dimmable, makes them smart, and allows you to connect to a whole bunch of different products in your house beyond the Brilliant ecosystem as well. So it is literally like a dashboard for your smart home. I think a lot of homeowners will definitely benefit from Brilliant and the technology, because technology in general helps us live smarter lives. And helping you put all the brands you have in your home and making them work together seamlessly and intelligently is really valuable. And listen, I love traditional automation, but it has a price point that makes it unaffordable for some people. So if I am buying my first unit or renting a unit for a couple of years, or buying a house that I'm only going to stay in for a few years, I may not want to sink tens of thousands of dollars into automating my home. The nice thing about this ecosystem is I can literally replace a few pieces of existing hardware, put this in my house, and if I do happen to leave in a couple of years, take it off the wall, put the old switches back, and I'm ready to go. So Brilliant is a really cool automation platform. It ties everything together, but for a fraction of the cost of traditional automation solution. And the part I really like is it is truly do it yourself. So any homeowner, any person who can basically change a couple switches can add Brilliant to their home. One of the key things I talk about when it comes to planning for a smart home is choosing products that play nicely with each other. What I mean by that is if you have two ecosystems or three or four or five ecosystems in your house that aren't compatible, you're literally jumping between apps, and your smart components in your home aren't working together the way they're supposed to. So what Brilliant does is it ties everything together with a common interface that everyone can use. So let's talk about some of the brands that you're going to hear or see when it comes to integrating with Brilliant. So there's Lutron, there's Ring, there's Nest, there's Sonos, Ecobee, Genie, Hunter Douglas, Leviton, Hue, Yale, and many others. I had to read them because there's so many. What the point is some of the best in breed, some of the most popular smart home products that you may already own or probably will own in the future can be automated and included in the Brilliant ecosystem. So it does exactly what it says, and it's really easy to do, and it is the one thing that's going to tie everything together in your home really well. When it comes to setting up Brilliant in your home, it's really easy to do. It's been designed for someone like you or me to be able to do. It is super easy. Now, the first piece of advice I'm going to give you is if you understand what these products can do, you want to start to think about where you put them. So at first glance, when I was thinking about my own home, I thought there's a couple lights when you first walk in the house. So every time we walk in the house, we walk into the house, we turn the lights on, and we do our things. When we leave the house, we frequently turn the lights off. So that seems like a perfect place to have as a dashboard for my smart home. But the challenge I found was I'm not going to get up from my family room, walk all the way across the house past my living room to use this interface. So as it turned out, the best place for the interface in my home would have been the kitchen, because that's where we spend most of our time. And because our den or family room is attached to it, that's where most of the nucleus of my family is at any given time. So when it comes to seeing cameras, that's a great place for it. When it comes to doing things like dimming lights, turning on music, that's a great place for it as well. One of the challenges we face is no two homes are the same. So your home will be very different than my home, and you're going to live your life a little bit differently with a different lifestyle than mine. So maybe you guys come in through your garage and you want a touch panel in your garage so you can do things like work your security system, turn on lights, close your garage door, anything else. Or maybe you want it up in your bedroom. So there's lots of different options up there. And the nice thing is even if you start with one of the interfaces, so say you put a 2-gang interface on your main floor. Unlike a lot of systems where it's one and done, and that's it, you can keep adding. So you can add additional interfaces downstairs, upstairs, all over your house if you want to. So it's anywhere you might want to check a camera or might want to talk to your home. Now the next part is once you've chosen where you might put the Brilliant control, you have to do a little bit of electrical work. Now, there's something I want to tell you. Well, there's a couple things. First is you better turn off the power. And the second is I want you to make sure you're comfortable working with power. So what I mean by that is if you're not comfortable working with power, you don't feel safe, you're not 100% confident, there's no shame in calling an electrician in. They do this every day, all day. They know a ton about it. So when it comes to your safety, I just want to say don't try to do something you're not comfortable doing, okay? There really is no shame in it. So whether you have an electrician do it or you do it yourself, the journey always starts at downloading the app. And the nice thing about that is it sets everything up for success because it literally talks you through step by step by step. So it's very, very easy to do. Now, if you do run into problems, there are some great online resources. So I was actually on their site last night just looking at their help section because one of my basis of judgment for whether we work with a company for our business is how good, or in the case of Brilliant, how great their customer support is. So what I found was I had a whole bunch of questions and I found answers to about 95.6% of them within about 3 seconds. Now, if I have any problems beyond that, Brilliant has great customer service as well. So the one thing I want to make sure that you know is that, yes, this is a great product, but also you're not going to be left alone trying to figure it out yourself. So once you've added the hardware, the last thing you're going to do is use the Brilliant app to connect all your compatible devices together in your home. So it's just going to guide you through everything. It's going to tell you everything you need to know. And like I said, if you run into questions, there's great support to back you up. We have numerous ecosystems in our house. So we do a lot of jumping between apps. So between turning down the lights, turning off the alarm, checking the doorbell, changing the music, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 apps. So for some people, that's not a big deal. For people who are attuned to flipping between apps, that's not a big deal. But for some people who didn't grow up using apps, who don't process the same way that someone who's 25 does, or even someone who's in their 40s does, it can be frustrating, it can be confusing. So what Brilliant does really, really well is they give you a central dashboard or hub for your home. And it reduces the need to jump between all those different apps because they have their own app in addition to their hardware as well. So it makes a lot of sense. And listen, if you're a home that entertains a lot, how nice is it for your guests to go up or turn down the music or dim the lights or anything else? Or what if you have kids in the home who don't have smart devices? So there's a lot of reasons why it's nice to have Brilliant in your home. And there's one other thing as well. We're trying very hard to look at our phones less. We look at them all day and then we sit around at night and look at them as well. So we're trying to do that less and less. And what Brilliant allows us to do is to put our phone away for the night. And if we do want to change the music, change the lights, do any of those things, we could just walk over to the dashboard or the control and do all of them. So it's really, really nice if you're trying to pare down the amount of technology you use in your house as well. Brilliant has thought of pretty much everything when it comes to this ecosystem. And one of the things I really like is they have a very solid app. And the best part about the app is it emulates the experience you get on the control. So once you've learned it once, you can use it across multiple places in your home, whether it's on your phone or tablet or an actual controller or controllers. Now here's why I like the app. First of all, really easy to use, so you can be anywhere in your home and use it. But there are a few other reasons you might want it as well. A lot of homes only have 1 or 2 controls. And the reason being is they might want to spend that money that they would have spent on controls on other things. And that's perfectly okay. It's not designed to be a whole house encompassing solution where you replace all your light switches with brilliant controls. Although I'm sure that would be an awesome house to live in. But as an example, if you have a control on your main floor, but don't have one in your bedroom, you do have your app with you. Or if you're in your garage or your backyard or anywhere else. So it literally extends the brilliant experience to anywhere you may have Wi-Fi. And just speaking of Wi-Fi, the one question I've been asked by a few people is, hey, what if the Wi-Fi in my house goes out? Will I still be able to use all my Brilliant stuff? And the answer is yeah. Because Brilliant has Bluetooth in their control as well and their switches as well. So they'll keep working even if there isn't Wi-Fi. But as an example, if you've got Ring cameras hooked up to it, you may not be able to control your Ring cameras because remember, they're still IP addressable or internet based. But your Brilliant stuff is Bluetooth, so it'll keep talking to each other. So whether you're using the app or their control, it's a consistent experience and it's one that you can count on to be reliable in your house at all times. I've worked for a lot of different brands. When I worked with Sonos, there was maybe 6 or 7 SKUs, even less when I started. When I worked with Monster Cable, there was something like 3.2 million SKUs, or at least it felt that way. Brilliant is a very simple ecosystem to understand. There are the controls. Okay, these are the units that come out. They sit on your wall and replace your switches, and there's a 1, 2, 3, or 4 gang version. So whatever your configuration of switches as you walk into your house or where you want your control, you can easily replace it with Brilliant. Next, they make smart dimmer switches. So these are to replace your existing switches. So you might put some dimmer controls throughout your house and want to dim a few more parts of your house. If you already have Lutron or something like that in place, no problem. Brilliant's going to talk to that. But if you don't have any of that in place, hey, just grab a few extra switches when you're ordering the rest of your product from Brilliant, add them, and then you've added the lighting control to the rest of your house as well. And finally, they make smart plugs for things like lamps and other products in your house. They're not meant for high voltage products like vacuum cleaners and stuff like that, but I've heard of people plugging air conditioners, fans, coffee makers, all sorts of cool stuff like that into it as well. So it's a really great ecosystem, very simple to understand ecosystem, and once you've figured out how many gang control size you need, the rest is super simple. I really like how Brilliant takes care of their customers. They have a 1-year warranty on all their product, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, amazing technical support as well. But the other thing that I really like is they also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you've bought some product and maybe it isn't the right product or it doesn't fit or you've just decided that's not the direction you want to go, most people aren't going to do that, but if you do, they'll let you return the product within 30 days as well. So it's really no obligation, no hassle, and when you take it home, they're going to give you great service out of the box, and they continue to give you great service as well. They're working very hard to ensure great customer service. They're working very hard to ensure best-in-breed customer support scores. So you can rest assured that when you buy the product, you're going to get a great hardware solution, but you're also going to get some nice people backing it up on the back end as well.